Well, we got breaking news out of the NFL where Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels announced that Derek Carr will be benched for the final 2 games of the season for Las Vegas. That means Jarrett Stidham will start for them against the 49ers and Chiefs to close out the year. Carr has struggled this season with the Raiders, tossing a league-high 14 interceptions, by the way, 3 during that game against Pittsburgh. But Las Vegas, they're all but mathematically eliminated from the playoffs after that loss to Pittsburgh on Saturday night. But you see the numbers, not what you expect from your QB1. Completion percentage there, worse since 2014. Interceptions, you mentioned that, the league high there since 2021. The passer rating, 86.3. By the way, the Raiders are 6-9 for a team we thought was going to come out the AFC West, at least for a wild card. But here's Josh McDaniels on that decision to bench Carr for Stidham earlier today.
So we're going to go ahead and start Jarrett the last couple games of the season here. None of us is happy with where we're at. But we think it's an opportunity to, evaluate a younger player who hasn't had much time to play. Talking to Derek, who was great. He understands the scenario that we're in and the situation, and very supportive of the 2 young guys. Those 3 guys obviously have worked together hand in hand all year, and he'll do anything he can to help them. So, that's what we're going to do. And obviously we're, started into our preparation for what I think probably is the best, football team top to bottom that we've played in San Francisco. So well coached, extremely highly ranked in every category, offense, defense, special teams. I'd say probably playing as good as any team that we faced all year at the time that we're playing them, and excited for the opportunity and looking forward to the challenge of this week.
Josh, we talked about the contract situation on Monday. Does that play into this? And then bigger question, what's the message in regards to Derek Carr moving forward with the Raiders?
Yeah, like I said, it's more about the opportunity. Like I said, we're all accountable to where we're at, and I think this is more about an opportunity to see a guy that we haven't seen play in a situation like this against a couple good teams, really good teams. Derek's played a lot of football. There's a lot of evaluating that's going to take place here once the season's over in terms of how we make the most progress, what makes the most sense for everybody, and how we move forward. And we knew that was going to be the case. Obviously, we were hoping to be in a different scenario than we are currently. But there's no finality to today. This is just a decision we thought, after talking about it and contemplating it, that we thought would be an opportunity for us to see what we have in him and how we do going forward. We'll see. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to be sorted through once the season's over.
Derek's play.
So Sunday, Jarrett Stidham will be QB1 for the Raiders. For his backup, it won't be Derek Carr. That's Chase Garbers as QB2. Carr expected to be inactive according to reports on Sunday. Taking a look at it, when it comes to Carr, in most losses by a starting QB in the first 9 seasons, he's number 2 with 79 from 2014 until this season, right behind Archie Manning, who had 83. But for Carr and the Raiders, not a good year at 6-9. You would think he's still in there, but Jarrett Stidham is your guy for the Raiders fans. Oh boy, does not look good. All right, I can't figure this one out, so we want to bring in the guru here, Dave Richard, to kind of figure it out. Jarrett Stidham, are we rolling with that over Derek Carr? You like that?
Never. Not even in a 6-quarterback league. No, there's no way that's happening. First of all, this is going down because the Raiders don't want to have Carr get hurt, and then they're on the hook for a lot of guaranteed money. So they're sitting him for that reason and that reason alone. It's not because of Jarrett Stidham being some sort of prodigy who's about to get a chance to play. He's been in the league for several years. He has a 52.5% completion rate, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's not a very good quarterback, and now here come the 49ers. So, of course, you're not going to start Jarrett Stidham in your fantasy leagues, and I don't think you really want to feel very good about yourself if you're starting any other Raiders either.
That's what I was going to ask about those targets here. You talk about Devontae Adams, maybe Josh Jacobs. Are you shying away from them? This is playoff time for most people.
This is going to make for some very uncomfortable and difficult decisions for fantasy managers. Devontae Adams, if you're still playing and he's on your team, he's not the reason why you've advanced in your playoffs over the past couple weeks. He's been terrible. You could find a way to sit him down. Somebody like DJ Moore could be a little bit better than him this week. You might even be able to make the case, and I know that this is going to sound nuts, and I'm not even sure if I believe the words that are about to come out of my mouth. But Greg Dortch in full PPR might have more upside than Devontae Adams while Jarrett Stidham is at quarterback. And as for Josh Jacobs, we heard his comments after the game last week. What's stopping Josh McDaniels from making a change there as well? And then Jacobs doesn't even end up playing. If I've got Jacobs, I want to make sure, and I've said this for like 2 months now, you've got to have Zamir White on your bench just in case, and that could be the case this week. Not that you'd feel good starting him. It's the Niners, for crying out loud. It's one of the toughest matchups. Jacobs, I think, has to be considered a number 2 fantasy running back, and Devontae a low-end number 2 fantasy wide receiver, and Darren Waller not even a top 12 fantasy tight end. This is a sinkhole for fantasy purposes.
So if you just have no QB option, I mean, are you even peeking at Stidham a little bit, or are you going elsewhere? If he's out there, are you taking it? I mean, he is starting. There's been a lot of quarterbacks who's injured this year.
Yeah.
Getting into week 17. Is this your only option if you're thinking about it?
I mean, we're talking about Superflex in 2 QB leagues where that's happening, and you just lost Derek Carr or Taylor Heineke, and you've got to make a choice between Jarrett Stidham or Nick Foles. I saw how bad Nick Foles was. I'm starting Nick Foles. Not only is Jarrett Stidham not a great NFL quarterback, he's taking on a 49ers defense that's tops in the league, amazing pass rush. That offensive line for Las Vegas isn't that great. He's going to be under crazy pressure. How's he supposed to complete passes? It's going to have to be in garbage time. I don't want to count on that. I would try and stay away from it. Trace McSorley is now, like, who do you pick between McSorley and him? Yeah. And I don't want to make that decision. I will just, I guess I would have to go with McSorley over Stidham.
Really? Over Stidham?
Stidham's dead last. He's playing the Niners. I'm really buying into that matchup here.
All right, just not buying Jarrett Stidham.
I hope Colt McCoy plays. I'd take Colt McCoy over both of them.
So Jared just gets no love from Dave. We're learning that today. So
well, we've learned that from the National Football League since he entered in 2019.
Yeah.
This is literally his first start.
Right.
Yeah, no love.
All right, as always, Dave Richard laid it out there. Leave him to that headache, and the fellas here at FFT always laying it out there. The closer you get to your championships, you want to tap in to fantasy football today. The guys always laying it out. Download and subscribe.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.